Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, October 3rd. We're on the Asian account. We don't have a lot to do as far as daily quests. We do have a tavern brawl that we need to do. And then we're going to have to do some monster hunt bosses and play some demons. And then I think that's kind of all we're going to need to do. I've got a lot of news that I've been taking too long to play, so let's work on that and try to burn through the news quickly and potentially even go less than an hour. Gamma Sutra has an article, How Serious Sam Set Itself Apart in the Era of Duke Nukem and Quake. That's an interesting idea because I don't know anything about Serious Sam, but honestly I'm not sure that it really did set itself apart too, because I hadn't really even heard of Serious Sam. I totally missed all of it. This article is mostly just a video link, so maybe if I get some free time I'll watch it, but in all honesty I probably never will. Gematsu has an interesting article. Apparently the Binding of Isaac Rebirth PS Vita Physical Edition has been teased, which would be really weird considering the PS Vita is going completely out of production, but maybe it was in development before all the announcements happened and maybe it's easier to port than people think. Also, this could easily just be a joke. It says that a year earlier the developer seemingly gauged interest in a physical version of Binding of Isaac for the Vita, so maybe they did spend a year porting it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a good selection of games that could still come out for the Vita even after it's been developed, just because of the 3 to 4 year development cycle for some games. Let's see. Gamma Sutra has an article, World Rally Championship developer Clyton, that's K-Y-L-O-T-O-N-N, has been acquired by Big Ben. I haven't heard of either one of these companies and World Rally Championship in particular either. Let's see. Big Ben also acquired the developer of Warhammer Chaos Bane and the Styx creator Cyanide, so it's they're building their own little empire of developers, hopefully to build better and bigger games. I heard someone talking about how Forza really has gotten to the point where it's the only racing game in town for a AAA racing game if you want to play a AAA racing game. Let's see, Beast. Like all this is gonna do is summon beasts. Right. So I would need a demon. Let's see. Yeah, I guess there's nothing more to say about that. Yeah, Forza, I'm not sure if really racing games are just kind of dead at this point for a while. You're gonna get one every couple of years and it probably will be a Forza and that'll be that. Maybe that's the level of how many racing games people really wanted in the first place. Particularly when you start excluding like Mario Kart style racing games from that list, because those aren't real racing games, those are arcade racing games. Moving on, GameIndustry.biz has an article, Tencent is investing $316 million into Bilibili, that's B-I-L-I-B-I-L-I, one word. The Chinese gaming company to purchase approximately 12.3% of shares of the video sharing company that owns the Overwatch League Hangzhou, Hangzhou Steam. I wouldn't be surprised if Bilibili was the official Overwatch streamer or one of a handful of Overwatch streamers in China, and Tencent is just using its money in any way possible to try and get into a place where it can make money. Because right now, with the lockdown on video games not getting approved, Tencent really has no new products that they can release. They're just relying on making profits on League of Legends. It's like Tencent also is restructuring because of that reason. Moving on, TechRaptor has an article. Star Wars Battlefront 2 has an updated roadmap for the next 4 months. So if anybody is still playing that game, you might be interested in that article. For me, I don't care, so I'm going to move on. Let's see, draw 3 cards. Discard them. Destroy this friend. Let's play this. Gamasutra has an article. Get a job. Funcom is hiring external producers. If you want to work in Raleigh, North Carolina or Oslo, Norway, you can be an external producer. I'm not sure what an external producer really would do. Sounds like you'd be in charge of people, but how can you be an external producer and not being like, how can you not actually be in the physical location to make sure people are doing the things you're telling them to do? I heard somebody talking about just how you could not really have any real feedback as a video game tester in a weird way, or because if you did irritate the people in charge of the video game testing, just like they would just see you as completely disposable and thus fire you on the spot. And you know, that's probably true, but also you probably fired on the spot as soon as the development of the game is done, and you're probably fired on the spot for in several other scenarios too, whenever the company needs money. So being a video game tester to me has always struck me as a bad job for anybody. It's not really going to lead to you becoming a programmer. It's not going to lead you to be an artist. If somebody refuses to hire you for the job you want and they said, but you can be a video game tester, you should just walk. In any case, if you apply for any job and then they offer you a different job, that's a bait switch technique. That's a scam, and you should walk. But yeah, unless you are a 16-year-old kid being a video game tester, it's like, if it's between that or an internship that doesn't pay, maybe then you would think about that. But honestly, probably take the internship. But of course, nowadays, so many people opt into being game testers for free, and they don't even go to the place that the game is being made. They just enter the open betas and test the game that way. So I wouldn't be surprised if for a lot of games they don't have any internal testers at all. TechRaptor has an article. Here are your Twitch Prime games for October. Darksiders War Mastered Edition, Soma, Sanitarium, System Shock, Enhanced Edition. I already claimed all of those. Let's see. What else? Let's see, it's going to give you an Assassin's Creed Odyssey Pirate Aegean Pirate Pack. And which will give you unique gear, mount, ship design, and crew theme. Rainbow Six players get the Twitch Prime collection. This pack is available from September through December. You earn 8 Twitch Prime packs in the legendary Chibi Charm. Wonder if maybe we could do something crazy here. Let's see. See, I could give him more characters. I don't know why I want to do it though.
Quickly.
Warframe Digital Extreme free-to-play third-person shooter. You get the Warframe and exclusive Prime Synodana, which can be worn at any time in Warframe. So yeah, little perks for Twitch Prime. Although, in all honesty, even though I'm claiming these games on Twitch Prime, I'm really not doing anything with them, and I'm not subscribed to anybody on Twitch. And by the way, nobody's subscribed to my Twitch channel, which is, I think, still pretty difficult to find. Nor do I even know if people could subscribe to my channel and whether I'd actually even see that money. As I don't have enough followers on Twitch. We have a game on Steam called Defending Camelot. It's a tower defense game of sorts. It seems like it's based on lanes, kind of like Plants vs. Zombies. It looks like there's way too much going on the screen, frankly. It's just really way too much stuff happening. It's 30% off for $6.99. Let's see if this developer has made anything that would convince me to want to play their game. Need to change this card back. I'm tired of looking at this ugly card back. Alright, 5 cards opened, and for some reason 10 cards to turn into dust. And we'll see new cards, or at least things that the game thinks are new because it's glitched out. Just right click all of these, go in circles. Now on the Asian account I was keeping all the gold cards, so I'll hold on to that one. You just have to constantly, I did that 3 times. Right. Make that our favorite. Now what do we need to do? Still need to play 10 demons and do the monster hunt bosses. So if I come over here and do monster hunt, I don't think I can choose demons per se. Have your opponent draws a card, add a copy to your hand. Swap the hands with your opponents. It's +1/+1 for each spell you cast. That's something you can control a lot more. Let's see, I guess we're taking Deck of Wonder. And play? Alright. Nope, this developer has only made Defending Camelot. What's interesting now is that with the new publisher developer beta, you can put your own like icon for your company, and this company's called Zek Games, Z-E-K Game, one word, and they've got this elf looking lady with a butterfly on her finger and her bust for the most part being shown prominently. But that really has nothing to do with the animation style of Defending Camelot, so you can kind of just have whatever you want as your own icon, I guess. Moving on, we have a game on Steam called Neo Candy. It says it's a roguelike action shooter, twin stick top-down shooter. It looks very simplistic, MS paint style, low pixel animation. It's 40% off for 59 cents. I don't even need to check to see if this developer's made something else, because I can tell you I am not interested in this game to begin with. So we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. I don't know why I'm doing this right now. Start my turn over, perhaps? Maybe I should. Let's just start my turn over. Let's do all of this next turn. Just play this. On the turn.
All are equal before my magic.
Okay.
Reality woven.
Gematsu has an article. Eve Burst Error R for the Switch launches October 25th in Japan. Let's see, what is this? A visual novel? Yes. So, yeah, another visual novel coming to the Switch. Start with this. Do this.
Take a bite.
2 damage all minions. If this doesn't work, I'll be kind of surprised. GameIndustry.biz has an article. Warner Brothers distributing Cyberpunk 2077 in North America. Partnership with developer CD Projekt Red continues after publishing distributed past Witcher games in the region. So it was Warner Brothers that published the previous Witcher games too. So nothing has changed. I thought something had changed, but I clearly was wrong. And freeze it. And then attack. We've got a game on Steam called Strength of the Sword Ultimate. It says it's a fighting game combined with a brawler, with a huge sword, rocket launcher, and a flamethrower. Now, the fighting style of this game looks interesting, but if that's all this game is, that's only going to last for so long. I'm kind of instantly reminded of, like, what is the game? Not the game, the anime Bleach, where, or Dragon Ball Z is a great example too, where it's just all fighting and very little story. I've lost. Immediately lost. Alright. Let's see, this is early access, it's $9.99. Let's see, there's one review. Has this developer made anything else? I guess I could be generous. And wishlist this and see if there's any reviews on it that tells me that it might be worth looking at. If I am going to make a special series of going through my wishlist / watch list and cleaning that out, I probably am gonna start with like 2016, like anything previous from 2016. I'm gonna look at every game, but anything that hasn't been reviewed and came out in 2016 is never gonna be reviewed, so I don't think I'm gonna keep any of those games. I guess none of these are demon cards, so I don't think any of it matters. Let's see. We have a game on Steam called Beat Hazard 2. Experience the music collection as never before in this intense music-driven arcade shooter. Each of your songs has its own unique ebb and flow based on the music. Positive review of 93% of 16 user reviews. So it's a bullet hell shooter that either goes off of shoutcast or I think your own music, which might be interesting in some rare occasions, but I could never stream that because it would just content ID. It would just copyright claim all over the place, and I wouldn't want to play bullet hell shooter anyway, so for me it's already out. It's early access, 15% off for $16.14. Gonna go ahead and close that tab. Next we have a game called Flat Trip. It says it's a small platform adventure set in the doodle world of Flatland. Simple gameplay mechanics, interesting looking graphics, and an awesome soundtrack, it claims. Looking at it myself, it does seem like it is slightly sharper and more detailed than most games that describe themselves as just like doodle or hand drawing things. They are using shading effects and thick black line outlines to make sure that this does look better than most.
First kill.
That being said, really is just another platformer. It's 10% off for $5.39. And yeah, unless this developer has something else they've made, which they haven't, I don't have any confidence in that game, so I'll close that. I wanted to see this TechRaptor article. Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 review.
I'll give it a shot.
I want to kind of keep an eye out for what Life is Strange 2 would be, although I'm not really sure I remember what Life is Strange Before the Storm even reviewed at. I feel like people liked it and then they kind of got busy and didn't finish it. I know that Episode 1 seems to have at least a big hugely racist character smacking you over the head with his racism, because the two main characters are of Mexican descent boys. But I might be willing to overlook such obnoxious basically, what is it? Straw manning. If the rest of the game is good. Let's see. TechRaptor gives it an 8.80 great, an 8.0 great. The summary: Life is Strange 2 excels on many levels, but also has its evident flaws. Following the Diaz brothers through the traumatic and unnecessary events will have you empathizing with their circumstances. However, Daniel's supernatural powers or a whole other conundrum. So I believe that is the first confirmation for me, at least, that they even had supernatural powers in this game. And I guess it's not just a time rewind power, which that time rewind power as an idea frankly didn't get used enough in Life is Strange 1. It would have been a lot nicer if you could have played all the Telltale games with a rewind function like Life is Strange 1 worked, instead of it being a gameplay mechanic, just a ability, a quality of life function. And that's the same, I think, for some of the other developers that make games like this. And Life is Strange is still being released episodically. I don't like that. The pros and cons are pros: immersive story, relatable characters, amazing soundtrack, and mature environment. The cons are slow beginning, and at times too controversial. So even TechRaptor didn't like the race system. Here's the quote I scrolled up. At one moment in particular, the race system factor feels too overdone and bluntly emphasized. When Sean and Daniel are shopping for supplies at the gas station, the option to steal items opens up as a choice. Because I'm just too honest a person, I paid for everything I put in my basket fair and square. Nonetheless, the owner of the station, who just happens to be an older white male, antagonizes Sean. He then proceeds to accuse him of shoplifting, declares he's a thug, and kidnaps him. No matter how Sean reacts in the controversial confrontation, he loses the battle. Which that sounds not only like bad gameplay, it sounds kind of just ridiculous in general.
One shot, one kill.
Heavy writing, heavy-handed writing.
Someone injured?
Bad writing. Let's see. Gamester has an article that's a video. A retrospective look at girl games in the 90s. Which certainly in the 90s there were a lot of bad quote-unquote girl games that were made. So maybe if I ever had some time I'll look at that video, but more than likely I'll just close that tab. Just always too busy, never get enough work done. That's my life in a nutshell. Next we have a game on Steam called Nimbatus, Nimbatus, the space drone constructor. Seems like the developer is playing it right now, live. And
is someone injured?
Yeah, it seems like a simple constructor game where you make a space drone and then you can fly around and potentially shoot things, maybe drill, maybe do some other things. And I don't know if you're mining an asteroid or what. Whatever it is, it seems simplistic graphics and not very intriguing artistic things. Let's see.
I'll give it a shot.
Kill this character. Nimbatus is 10% off for $17.99. That is way too expensive. Let's see. They've made a game called Niche, a genetic survival game that's very positive, 1,647, and this came out September 21st, 2017, but it doesn't look like anything like Nimbatus, so that doesn't really make me want to play Nimbatus at all. Let's see.
Only a fool rejects the Lich King.
And this.
I'll give it a shot.
Let's see, we have a game called Urbance Clans Card Battle. URBANC. Street gangs rise up in Neo City. Time has come to gather your own gang to take over the whole city. District after district. Takedowns will happen. Show no mercy if you want to survive. Seems very weird that you're going to make a card game and then turn it into a street battle gang fighting game. Seems like the cards are like improvised weapons like box cutters, broken glasses, baseball bats. Seems like a weird spin to put on your card game. Why not? Even though that the Slay the Dragon, Slay the Spire game is going with a very standard fantasy style, I think you probably do want to just stick with a standard fantasy style.
First kill.
For the scourge.
This game is in English and French. It's 10% off for $4.49. Thinking about a card game, if you're gonna make a card game, you need a lot of support behind it. So it would need to be a developer who has done something previously and has some money behind it. And one of the developers made the game Epistory Typing Chronicles and Shift Quantum and Algobot, all of which are rated positive or higher. This is a weird one, so I guess I'll just put it on my wish list and see if people actually like it. I doubt people will. Let's see, let's keep on playing too. I forgot that if I'm not careful, I'll sit here forever. Check Raptor has an article, the Lord of the Rings LCG first impressions. I don't know what LCG stands for. Is that light card game or living card game? Living card games are different from collectible and trading cards in that the card packs are fixed, so players let's see. Which one do I want? Guess we're going with golems. Like, in that the card packs are fixed, so players always know what cards they were getting. Now, I've never heard of a living card game. I really doubt people would want to play a Lord of the Rings card game over and over again as much as you're playing like Hearthstone. And I'm looking at their first looks here, and the interface looks good, but not seeing anything amazing or new. It looks pretty much like all the other card games. We'll have to wait till it comes out all the way. I have an interesting story here from Game of Sutra. PUBG has banned 13 million cheating players to date. Sadly, that may be the history of PUBG more than anything, is that they may not be the biggest game ever for much longer, or but they probably will hold a decent record for having banned a lot of people.
It's time for a little blood.
But then again, this is also the problem with PUBG, is that they're spending all their effort, whether they need to or not, banning people instead of doing development on their game and making it a better experience. We have a game on Steam called Dragon Awaken. It says it's a semi-turn-based heroic fantasy MMORPG. What language is it in? Only English. I don't know how you get semi-turn-based. that sounds like that'd be really confusing. There's a lot of bright, flashy graphics on this, but I'm not sure that there's any interface other than the fight sequences. Kind of sounds like you just go from one fight to the next fight. It's a free-to-play game, so I guess the price is right. But being an MMORPG, it doesn't interest me. Let's see. Can we do this here? And then do that there. Gamer Sutra has an article. Tencent is testing facial recognition to enforce playtime restrictions in China. So they're testing out in the game Honor of Kings. They are looking for underage players who are either not allowed to play the game at all, or not allowed to play the game for as long as it seems the kids are playing. I'm not sure if the restrictions are realistic in China or not. Like, there may very possibly be very little to do in China otherwise, or it might be just a total lack of parenting and skills as a parent. In China, I could see a lot of that. I could see the parents out working their own jobs and not being free enough in their own time to supervise their children. Let's see. It's all supposedly designed to fight myopia or nearsightedness in children, is what they claim, but in reality I think it's just in general trying to control the populace, and which long since has been a focus of the Chinese government. So yeah, facial recognition, which will get spun out more and more in China for more and more use, I'm sure. Next we have a game called The Midnight Sanctuary. And this looks like a very surreal game. It says it's an adventure and indie game. It's being published by Sony Music Entertainment. It says it's an occult visual novel by the creators of the Starry Midnight is this really a game? Or is it just kind of a interactive experience? I'm seeing things. It seems like you walk around, it seems like you talk to people. It doesn't really even seem like it really is much of a it doesn't even seem like it's much of a visual novel, in the sense that it doesn't feel like there's a lot of talking going on. Let's see. Well, this game is in English and Japanese. It's full audio in Japanese, and I think this would be probably one of those games where you definitely, if it even is a game, would want to listen to the Japanese vocals. But fully acted, fully animated by a two-person team. And no reviews. This is a weird one. It looks very polished and very well animated, which that's the thing about like I know I often come off and as like, oh yeah, I'm just super obsessed in love of Japanese animation, and I kind of hate all other styles of animation. Japanese people just kill themselves to make things look good. They spend way more effort than anybody else did, probably too much effort to make things look good, but it is usually very visible. As for this game, The Midnight Sanctuary, I've got to wishlist it. Hopefully somebody else will play it and tell me what kind of game at all it is. Moving on, we've got a game called The Maestros. It says it's a team versus team action strategy arena game. Yeah, it seems kind of like a League of Legends type ripoff. Let's see. 4 damage to enemy hero.
I don't have many cards.
I smell
For the scourge.
Yeah, this game, the Maestros, looks very much like a League of Legends multiplayer only game. So it's multiplayer anyways, early access, 23% off for $9.74. So I'm not interested in that. Let's see. Do I need to talk about this article?
I'm out of cards.
No, I don't think so. This is a TechRaptor article interviewing a company I've never heard of about a game that I've never heard of, so... And it's not a good looking game in the first place. Let's see, deal 4 damage to the enemy hero. And hope I have enough that I can do here. We have a game on Steam called Shoot and Scroll 3D. It's a widescreen, scrolling towards the top of the screen, plane shooter game. It actually looks pretty good. I've seen a lot of these and immediately rejected them, but I'm actually willing to give this one a little bit more of a chance. It's $4.99. The name is a low effort development, certainly. And what else do they have? They have a game called Jewel Tree, and Fiber Twig 2, Dark Asylum, Mysterious Adventure, Crystal Path. None of their games have any reviews on any of them. They have a game called Trumpy Wall. So yeah, this is, if not a low effort developer, a just not good enough developer. And they are flooding Steam because Jewel Tree, which I mentioned, also came out at the same time. And it's a match 3 game. And clearly, knowing what I know now and seeing that it's part of a 50 games bundle, that's not really worth the time. Let's see what's in this pack.
Golden Common. Rare.
And what do I need to do last is play 10 demons. So we can come over Zoo Warlock here and hopefully have some demons in Zoo Warlock. I have an article here about RetroArch being released for the Switch. I wanted to see how this works. Let's see.
Gul'dan versus Malfurion.
You have to download it
Your soul shall be mine.
to a Switch folder on an SD card. Oh, so first of all, you have to make your Nintendo Switch capable of running Homebrew for this to work, and then once you've got the Homebrew launcher, I guess, on the Switch, that's how it worked on the Wii when I did that a long time ago too. There was just a Homebrew channel, and you could put a bunch of things in there. Alright, interesting. Now the next question would be, where can I get a really cheap homebrew capable Switch? If I was gonna do that. Demons, play the demons. GameIndustry.biz has an article, industry staff protest working condition with Twitter storm. Hashtag as a games worker sees devs airing grievances in the wake of mass redundancies last month. So they formed a hashtag. Hopefully this works better than the hashtag change the channel did for Channel Awesome. That really didn't do anything. It had an effect for a short time, but I think everybody forgot it pretty quickly. Let's see. Here's one that says, I want to work in an industry that puts the well-being of game developers in the forefront. Before shareholders. Alright, I'll agree with that. Before clients. I disagree with that. Before management. I'll agree with that. Before the public image. Like, I don't know how you hurt your public image by taking care of your developers. Before established practices. Okay, I totally can agree with that one. Before corporate culture, okay, before everything else. So yeah, no duh, a worker wants to be thought of before everybody else. The clients really, I don't agree with. I think clients come first. Clients are your customers, basically. The only time a client wouldn't be a direct customer buying your game is if you are contracted out to develop a game for a different video game company. And then your client would be that video game company. Like, it really is going to get to a 50-50 at certain points. Some of these complaints are valid and some of them are not. Some of them are going to ask for things I can already tell you that are things you will not get in any industry in the United States, and they are pretty much just whining by over entitled California people. Let's see. They've got like 3 tweets here in this article. Some of them are legitimate. The other tweets, I guess I can read them, as a game worker, I want to stop wearing overtime as a badge of honor and for our own and our team's well-being. Fair enough. And then as a game worker, I want the industry that doesn't see all of its laborers as fundamentally interchangeable and expendable. Which, frankly, that's kind of true in almost every job. Like, you really don't ever get away from that. Unless you just have all the knowledge and nobody else has all the knowledge or skill that is needed for that position. That's, everybody kind of is interchangeable and replaceable. Moving on, we have a game called Rhem 2, R-H-E-M 2, S-E, The Cave. Seems like this is maybe it's supposed to be pronounced Ramsey inaccurately. Looks like a this looks like a adventure game of some sort. For a second there, it kind of looked like it was a dungeon crawler. There seems to be some major elements of how you walk around. It's kind of Myst-like, but sadly it looks like Myst originally looked like 25 years ago. Let's see. If this developer has made a previous one that is well reviewed, maybe I would consider it then.
It's science.
Crystallize.
Interesting, this developer hasn't made on Steam Rim 1 SE, The Cave, it's made Rim 4, The Golden Fragments SE. So this game came out in 2016 and it looks really old too and kind of Mist-like. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Is this guy just a huge Myst fan and is... Oh, this is almost 100% stolen from Myst. Like, I'm seeing elements that are directly stolen ideas. And does this publisher have Rim 1? Yeah, they have it by a different developer. I don't know. I guess maybe a Myst clone. Rim 1 SE Rhyme, I guess maybe might be how you pronounce it. The Mysterious Land. There's 81% positive user reviews. Let's see. This. I guess I'll put this on my wish list, and if I ever want to play a basic ripoff of Myst, that's kind of all it is. Somebody's saying they played this game 15 years ago on...
Someone call for the doctor.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going on with this game. Whether it came out a long time ago. I'll have to do some research on this one. Off-screen research to find out if this game, Rhyme, existed a long time ago, or if the special edition that came out July 6, 2017 is really the original version. Clearly it was a Myst clone at some point. Moving on. Let's see, I guess I can hit that. And that. And that. Gematsu has an article, the 2D shoot 'em up Fast Striker coming to PS4 or PS Vita on October 16th in North America, October 17th in Europe. So, yeah. 2D shoot 'em up. Probably not that interesting. We got a game on Steam called Blast the Past. Operate a wrecking crane in VR to destroy the last remnants of an old building in a city of new skyscrapers. Interesting. It's a VR wrecking ball game that really didn't need to be built around destroying an old house. Could have been built around destroying anything. It's giving you points for destroying these buildings. What are the languages in this? Just English. The game Blast the Past is free, so I guess the price is right. And the idea, I guess, is generally intriguing. I'm sure everybody at some point has thought about wanting to run a crane. Gematsu has the 2D adventure puzzle game Lost Worlds. Lost Words Beyond the Page, coming to the PS4, Xbox One, and PC in 2019. Let's see, I think I've heard of Lost Words, but maybe I haven't. No, I've never seen this game before. So Lost Words might be an intriguing one. So I'll wishlist that and keep an eye on it. Play this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Gamma Sutra. Let's see. Has an interview with Capcom's Hironobu Takashita. The article is "He is 8-bit Colin, Capcom Hironobu Takashita speaks." So if you want to read that article, that's there. Trying to wrap up at this point. Gematsu has an article. The futuristic arcade racer Xenon Racer is announced for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Let's see. It seems like when these games get announced for PC, there's already a Steam account, a Steam listing for them. Although, in all honesty, why should I wishlist things that are coming soon? So I'm just gonna go back and change, like, close the ones that are coming soon, because until what's on Steam tells me that the game is out, I don't care. Did I play enough Demons? No. One more game, and we should be close to wrapping up then. YouTube advertisers on Twitter tweeted out a tweet. What was it? Promoting Will Smith. So again, no duh, Will Smith is now the new golden child. I heard PewDiePie actually has been overrun, and he's not the biggest YouTube channel anymore, by some like Korean music video agency or something. Is now the most subscribed channel. But clearly they want Will Smith and The Rock and Dwayne The Rock Johnson and people like that to be the big breadwinners and the basically only successful people on YouTube. Let's see. I could play this, but it's not gonna really do anything. So on my turn. Gamma Sutra has another article talking about the hashtag as a games worker. They only quoted one tweet instead of 3, so Gamma Sutra is even less detailed than GameIndustry.biz. I think some of these sources of information also might do better to they might do better to get rid of the phrase games in their name. I think TechRaptor is probably a great name because you're not going to confuse that website with something else. Whereas GameIndustry.com versus Gematsu versus Gamma Sutra versus Game Informer, I mean, it's all the same. Anyways, TechRaptor has some reviews for the NES games on the Switch: Tournament Golf, Solomon's Key, and Super Dodgeball. Apparently they're coming to the Switch on October 10th. So no, that's not a review 10 out of 10, that's just talking about the games coming out. Still think the Nintendo Online service is pretty pathetic for what it is. Let's see, let's draw a card. Don't have enough cards to play that, so we'll do that. Hit this, and hit this, and then return. There's an article by VG247, which is not a place I follow, but somehow I saw this, that NVIDIA and Windows 10 and 1080p dominates the Steam September survey. So people are mostly still playing 1080p. There's no way I could bring up the quality of my recordings at all, frankly, just because of how much upload time it takes. So going to 1440p is not realistic, or anything higher. Also, I don't think my graphics cards would handle it very well. Gamma Sutra has an article. Netflix Black Mirror is getting a choose your own adventure according to a report. I think this has probably been reported enough to be believable. I'm not sure how it's really going to be implemented. I'm not sure they know how it's going to be implemented. There's a game called Roll on Steam. It's a simplistic Unity, just Polygon style game with 100 Steam achievements. We haven't seen a lot of achievement games lately. It's 84 cents, 15% off. So we can close that tab. And I still haven't played enough demons. We have a game called The Life of One Dog that looks like it's an RPG Maker game where you're playing as a dog. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more to say here about it. It really just does seem like it's a cheap, low effort RPG Maker game where you play as a dog. It's 40% off for 59 cents. I'm gonna close that tab. I am definitely, I want to point out, thinking about ways to make this a little bit more visual. I don't know how I do that without losing like Hearthstone content. Like, because yeah, it would just, I'd basically need the game to be on. I'd need to probably have some quick switch keys where I'm just switching back and forth, and I would need to make sure that I'm never screwing up, which would probably mean I need a third monitor if I was to guess, which I can't really afford to buy a third monitor, just to watch what the recording is seeing and watch the what the browser is saying to show these games. But yeah, I am trying to think of ways to do it. Of course, now with Steam allowing nudity in the screenshots, at least for the moment, that also becomes a problem. Let's see. Summon a copy of this minion. Deal 4 damage. Let's do this. And let's do this. We have a game called Dwarf Swordsman on Steam. It actually looks like it's kind of polished. I don't know how long this is. A game running around with a sword. It's only in simplified Chinese though, so it's probably not that good of quality. Even if it is great quality, for $34.99 I can't play it because it's not in English. Alright. So I'm gonna copy this minion.
Stop copying me! Face the light. Face the light.
You gotta just risk it. Game Master has an article. D3 publisher wants to release Dream Club Zero for PS4 and PC in the West. Dream Club Zero is the prequel entry for Dream Club dating simulation series. It's a dating simulation game. I would have thought it was a music singing game, but okay. Interesting. Yeah, that might come out and happen. I'm not taking any damage, so I'd like all my characters to take 1 damage so I could heal them all. But I don't have a card that really does that. Let's see. Gematsu has an article, the Zelda-like Metroidvania Hazelnut Bastille for the Switch and PC teaser and trailer. Interesting. It's coming to the Switch, PC, and Linux. Let's see. When is it coming for any of these, though? I don't think there's a release date. Yeah, it looks like a nice modern way to draw a Zelda, like the first Zelda style game. In fact, it's very possibly the best looking version of trying to do a game like this. So it's a shame there's no Steam link or anything, because I would probably wishlist that game, even though that would be against the rule I just said I was going to follow. Let's do this. 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 And what do we want to do? Just end the turn there? Let's see. Game Master has an article, Shadowgate reimagining coming to the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch this fall. With a refined user interface and wheel-based icon command system. So, the 2015 release of the 1987 point-and-click adventure game Shadowgate is going to come to the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Also, Shadowgate reimagining, as it is, or the re-release or remake, has already come out for probably PC. Destroy a minion. Restore 3 health to your hero.
I wonder.
Just draw a card first. Play this. And play this. And continue. We have a game on Steam called Shimmer. It seems like it is a survival asset flip game. You're on an island with an ugly interface, trying to build things and survive. I don't really need to see anything else to know that I'm not interested in it. It's early access, 10% for $12.59. Almost done. Gamasutra has an article, Konami's Dance Dance Revolution is getting a movie adaptation. That'll be interesting to see. I can see you making a dance movie, certainly around the general idea. I don't know how that translates into a lot of inner tying into DDR itself, though. There's a game on Steam called Colorless, where it seems like it's a simplistic MS Paint platformer with maybe a color scheme where you play as different color enemies, who, different color heroes who can do different types of things to get through the platforming levels. It's 10% off for $4.49, and it just does not look good enough to justify that price. Oh, I cannot believe that I have missed this article until this point. This was an interesting story. And I'm gonna leave this. I don't want to be super rude. I don't really like Randy Pitchford. Let's just put that out there. I think he's obnoxious and says things that aren't true sometimes, as a lot of magicians do. They tend to have a loose connection with reality. But this went through the court system. PC Gamer has this article. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford was allegedly scammed out of nearly $3 million by a former personal assistant. Which the first question is, how do you not catch that? Like, somebody doesn't in one day get $3 million out of any kind of personal account. The Pitchfords won a $2 million judgment against John Wright Martin earlier this year, but he has since disappeared. This is not a story that you want to come out as a CEO. this does not make you look competent and smart with money and capable of running a business. Let's see. They say they hired this man as a personal assistant in 2014, both Randy Pitchford and his wife, Christy, which, by the way, his wife is running that restaurant. Let's see. What do I need to do? I don't think I really need to do anything more, so I'm just going to play one more game while we cover the story. According to the Dallas News, John Wright Martin's starting salary was $45,000 per year, but he began charging personal expenses to their American Express business account. Those purchases included clothing, jewelry, electronics, Amazon movie rentals, and such other mundanalities. But he also purchased $591,000 home in a wealthy neighborhood in Frisco. In Frisco, donated $10,000 to the Trevor Project charity, and forged at least 7 checks on Christy Pitchford's account worth more than $73,000. So, yeah, seriously, before you give anybody a credit card with that kind of credit limit, you needed to know you could trust them. And clearly you could not trust this person if the story is at all true. And I hope it's true, because the other thought is that some of this isn't true, and they authorize some of these purchases, and they are trying to avoid paying for them themselves. But that is a completely baseless, and there are no facts to back that up claim. But that's the only two ways it could be. And since there was a judgment, I think the courts would have figured it out. The quote here is, Martin got, quote, better at finding ways to spend our money, Pitchford said. Somehow it all went unnoticed until sometime after September 2016, when the Pitchfords realized there was insufficient funds in the payroll account for Nerdvania Frisco. Yeah, see, and that's the weird part about this, is that, like, in the meantime he's running this restaurant. The restaurants more often than not fail, for reasons like this and for other reasons. Let's see. She contacted Martin, who apparently they were not in day-to-day contact with, who claimed it was a result of a mix-up and promised to straighten it out. In March of 2017, he signed a contract acknowledging the wrongfulness of his action and pledging to repay $780,000, but a check he wrote that month for $598,000 bounced. Seriously? You're idiots getting scammed. I mean, really? Like, this is the best reason ever that Randy Pitchford should not be in charge of Gearbox. That you could work with a known scammer and you're not calling the police, you're not filing lawsuits. Let's see, the Pitchfords are far from the only people that Martin is accused of scamming. Former friend Matthew Worthen estimated that he's out about $10,000 because of Martin's manipulation. He's also previously been convicted for writing a bad check, although nothing near this scale. He also skipped out on bail bond following the felony conviction for drunk driving in July 2017. But the Pitchfords appear to be his wealthiest targets. It's just too much money. A fool and his money. To use the phrase, a fool and his money will soon be parted. Quote, we keep finding stuff, he said. As much damage as he didn't destroy us, is another quote. He also clarified on Twitter that Gearbox did not suffer any losses. He stole from my wife and I and her business. He tweeted. The Nerdvania restaurant, which he has been promoting via his influence as the CEO of Gearbox. And maybe this is part of the reason why we don't have Borderlands 3, is because
I hunt alone.
Nobody's on the ball. They're too busy getting scammed. Pitchfords were awarded more than $2 million plus legal fees earlier this year in a summary judgment after Martin failed the defense against the lawsuit. They filed claiming breach of contract, fraud, and theft. Martin has since disappeared, however. He was arrested in mid-July after passing a bad check for $77,000 to purchase a Cadillac Escalade, but posted bail and skipped yet again. Martin told the Daily Dallas News through Facebook that there is much more to the story than him being charged for crimes, than me being charged for crimes I did not commit, but did not follow through on a promised interview and hasn't responded to further messages. So, yeah. It'd be interesting to hear his side of the story, but also it seems like John Wright Martin is a scammer. So, his scam explanation for everything will probably be entertainment only, for entertainment purposes only. And that certainly, though, even if it didn't affect Gearbox at all, let's say it didn't, which is a little questionable, but okay. Because I really don't trust the Pitchforks not to mix their monies that when they're not even paying attention to their money. The thought that they're dealing with that instead of making Borderlands 3 explains kind of why Borderlands 3 isn't happening. But before even getting the story, I've said Randy Pitchford has too many pots in the kitchen. He bounces all around doing all these random things. He's running Nerdvania, his restaurant. He's doing magic on the side. He's making the Penn and Teller bus tour VR version. Battleborn is getting created instead of Borderlands 3. They're expanding the publishing department of Gearbox so that they can release Duke Nukem Forever and a slightly upgraded version of several other games. We Happy Few. Like, nothing that they've published has been supported well or come out as a great quality game. There's just a lot of that going on. A lot of lack of focus. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Pitchford leave Gearbox, or if we see Gearbox shut down. Also, Gearbox expanded to Canada, which that certainly could have cost them a lot of money. Let's see, we have a game on Steam called Awkward Date Hero. We only have a couple more games. This looks like this is a Western style of animation with ink markers. Although all the characters are being given Japanese names and it's trying to be Japanese-esque. Looks like it's some kind of visual novel simulation game. It looks awful though. Yeah, it's probably extremely short. It's $1.99. Think we can skip Awkward Date Hero? Let's see. Do this. Done. In the turn. We have a game on Steam called Lost Cosmonauts ARG, which any ARG is not going to be for me. Sorry for rhyming, but yeah, when you have to leave the game to figure out the solutions, who knows how long you could actually do it or how well that experience is going to be. It's 10% off for $3.59. If you love ARGs, maybe you'd consider it, maybe not. But I'm just going to close that tab. Let's see. What do I want to do? Let's see. Beast have charge. Stealth and poisonous. We could do that. Or we can do this. And then what do we want to kill? Probably that. Do that. Do that. Do that. And then in the turn. GameIndustry.biz has an article. The Kickstarted project Limit Theory has been cancelled after 6 years in development. The indie dev Josh Parthenow met with outpouring of support from backers following a heartfelt apology. So it seems like the backers are not too upset with him for failing to deliver 6 years later. Never heard of Limit Theory, but I do make it a policy not to look at unfinished games if I can avoid it at any point. Let's see. Draw 5 secrets. Alright. And taunt. I'll just play tracking. Explosive trap, that'll be nice. We have a game on Steam called Operation Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf. It looks like a CSGO clone. It's 10% off for $16.19. Any of these CSGO clones could be asset flips, and they probably are. There's nothing here that looks amazingly interesting. Gamma Sutra has an article. Friends reunited. Sony admits enabling crossplay took too long. Sony, I'm not sure I've reported on this, is now going to allow crossplay bit by bit, I think, in all of the games that couldn't support that. I think there's also a level of what would be the word to say? A level of other support, secondary support things that you're going to have to do, particularly for Fortnite, about copying over or deassociating your Epic account from one account and merging two different Epic accounts from like a Switch and a PS4 into one account. So they're working on doing things like that too. We already talked about that article. The game Ark of the Alchemist is delayed to February 7th, 2019 in Japan, according to Gematsu, but that was a quick. And then we have a game called The Light Keeps Us Safe on Steam, which suffers from dark screenshot syndrome, but might be a game worth playing. Still has no reviews. Came out October. It's coming out October 11th.
I wonder.
It's not out yet. I wonder myself, should I wishlist games that aren't out yet? I don't think so. I'm gonna close that tab. If it's not out, I don't care. This. That. In the turn. And we are now at the Humble Bundle store. Let's see, the Humble Bundle. There's an overwhelmingly positive games, which would be Wupo, Simulacra, and Subsurface Circular for $1. Nuclear Throne, Modorama, Reverie Under Moonlight, Lisa, and Soma for the average of $6.79. I think this would probably be a great time for me to actually buy that bundle. And if you pay $15, you get Opus Magnum. I don't think I want to pay $15 to get Opus Magnum. But getting Nuclear Throne, Modorama, Momodora, and Lisa for $6.79, and these other games, I don't think I have them either. So that puts us in a pretty good position. Let's see.
I dream of a world friend.
Yeah, do my best to save my health. So then I can go to Twitch, and I don't think there will be any new Twitch thing. Oh, there is. There's the Assassin's Creed Odyssey loot. I'll claim that offer. Just because. Why not? And then that just puts me back on my Twitter feed. And this will be our last game, and we'll be done with the stream on Friday, theoretically. Well, be pretty easy. Let's see. Destroy a random enemy minion. Please do that one. This. And take that. And take that. And do that. See, do I need extra spell damage?
Bring you rest.
Let's see. So now I'm just scrolling down my Twitter feed. Let's see. My Twitter feed, by the way, has changed in some way. It seems like the new how do I put this? It seems like the something either I've used too many hashtags, I've irritated somebody, or something, and the YouTube announcement videos, I should have done it on that. Oh, I screwed up. I screwed up. Had I done the +5/+5 on anything else, I would have been in a much better position. It doesn't matter. So on. So yeah, let me scroll down on my Twitter and see if maybe it fixed itself. See, GameIndustry.biz has an article, Telltale reportedly searching for a partner to finish Walking Dead by hiring its former devs. Third episode is supposedly almost finished, would be completed with the fourth by Telltale vets as contract employees, which that certainly is a catch-22, because then they're gonna not really want to work for you, and they're gonna be mad at you, but they're gonna take the work because they're out of work, and you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You get yelled at if you hire other employees who might actually be more interested in working in that contract position. Telltale is really just over a barrel. They should have funded enough to finish the final part of The Walking Dead, and possibly laid off less people and kept some on. Let's see. Apparently the Warcraft executive producer J. Allen Brack is now the president of Blizzard. Interesting. Let's see if there's any more news to that. I doubt that there's too much other news. Yeah, Twitter said there really was only like 4. YouTube Gaming is tweeting somebody playing Kerbal Space Program. Boy, are they out of the loop from that one. The ESA president Michael Gallagher steps down, so maybe we'll get a better leadership from the ESA about loot boxes and such, instead of just being blatantly obvious lobbyists for loot boxes. And yeah, there's some articles here, but I don't think there's any big news. Yep, I think we are done. I'll scroll through my Twitter account on my own time. Pretty good stream. We're getting back to having more people on the chat on a very consistent basis, and that is great. At least they're coming to the chat early on. Maybe they're getting bored by hour 3. That's going to be it for the stream. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites like Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, all that information is down below. And if you want to support me, you can support me via Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game or a gift card. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.